Hello, hello. Welcome, everyone. Come on in. We are here at Live from COP. We're so excited to have you. As our friends are popping in from the waiting room, we just want to remind you to do your best to keep your mic muted unless we are calling on you for a question. I also wanted to remind you that we want to know where you're joining from. So click on the 3 dots next to your name and rename yourself, including your country or your city. So my name just says CGE, but we are joining from Belem, Brazil. So I am going to put Brazil next to my name for you all. So if you are able, go ahead and do that. If you'd like, you can also let us know in the chat. So type in the chat and let us know where you're joining us from today. Or if you are also in Brazil, you can let us know what country you are traveling to Brazil from. So I think we have a few students here in Brazil that are joining us. All right. Oh, look, and if you have a camera, we obviously want to see your face. So if you are able to turn your cameras on and say hello to us, we would love that. Now, before we officially start, oh, and also, I'm sorry, Alice, you'll also have to, keep an eye on and mute anyone if they accidentally miss their mics, because I am not able to. Because before we start, I just wanted to say a quick warning to everyone. The internet connection is not great at such a busy conference. So we are going to do our best with the limited internet we have. But that does mean that there is a chance that we may have to turn our video on and off throughout the session. But if at any point things get very laggy and things freeze, just know that we are working in the background and we will bring it back up as soon as we possibly can. Are you ready to go? Yes. Let's do this. All right. So welcome to our Live from COP. We're so excited to have you here. I did my housekeeping reminder, so just stay muted and type in the chat if you guys have anything you would like to share. Next slide, please. We have a couple of ways to kind of keep everyone involved during our session today. Oh, but before I get to it, I'm going to call on my friend Melissa to give us a welcome message from her country of Brazil. So Melissa, please go ahead.
Hello guys, welcome again to this year's Live from COP. I'm Elisa, I'm 15 years old and I'm from Brazil. And I'll start off by the essential topic. What is COP? For those who don't know, COP stands for Conference of the Parties, the annual assembly where almost every country in the world meets to negotiate and make decisions on climate change, with core goals being keeping the global temperature rise below 1.5 degrees Celsius, helping countries to build resilience against climate impacts, and stabilize greenhouse gas emissions. This year's conference is being hosted in my home, Brazil, so let's take a moment to introduce the country. For starters, our nation is world-renowned for its gigantic biodiversity, proudly home to over 55,000 plant species and encompassing 6 distinct vital biomes. But our diversity is everywhere, especially on the plate. You can't talk about Brazil without mentioning feijoada, our rich national stew, or our iconic coxinha and the beloved pão de queijo, the cheese bread. Having the COP conference in Brazil is really exciting. It's the first time we're being in the heart of the Amazon rainforest, and being with that, we are able to hear the perspective of the indigenous people, them actively speaking at events, demanding action from global leaders, something crucial to advocate for their territorial rights as many decisions directly affect their land. And that was a brief introduction to what is COP and a bit about Brazil. Welcome to my country.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you for hosting us at your country. We're so happy to be here. So we have a way to keep you guys involved. So the action does not stop here at this Live from COP. We have, going into the chat right now, a live document that you can add your demands to. So our friends from Green Learning will talk a little bit more about e-cards at the end of this event. But this is the way that you guys can actually share your voice here at the conference. So our students here are actually talking directly with their environment ministers and world leaders and negotiators, and they will take these demands that you guys have and they will share those directly face to face with the people who can take action. So I'm going to ask everyone to find that link in the doc. We will share it again. We will share it again later in the meeting as well in case you lose it. And you'll see our friends from Costa Rica have actually already started populating it with some great ideas. So go ahead and unlock that and we can take a look at it at the end of our event. All right, now I would love to welcome the amazing panelists that we have joining us for the event today. So first off, I would like to welcome Mala Sharma. From cute and cuddly kittens to creepy crawly insects, Mala has always had a passion and love for nature. She studied environmental studies at York University and embarked on her mission to become an environmental educator. She absolutely loves teaching about ocean conservation and is motivated to inspire youth around the world to take action against climate change. Welcome, Mala.
Hello, everyone. Super excited to be here. Thank you for having me, and I'm excited to hear what we all have to share today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And up next, I would like to invite Shadabi. Sorry, I practiced it so many times. Shadabi. She is the grad assistant at Taking It Global, where she supports projects that are using Commit to Act to take environmental actions. She was previously a Sprout Ideas Fellowship and Rising Youth alumni, and she launched her own environmental education platform called Leading for Our Future. She is also a public health researcher and enjoys stories with data. So welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm also very excited to see what everyone has to say. Thank you.
Yes. Magno? Is that okay? A leader in sustainable education, her passion for the environment began early, but it has intensified after severe storms damaged her home and disrupted her studies, showing her firsthand the impact of climate change. Motivated to make a difference, she joined her school's sustainability projects and
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for your patience as we navigate technical issues. If you haven't had a chance already to pull up the
so sorry, we're back.
sheet.
We're back.
Amazing.
I'm going to turn my video off for the rest of the introductions, and I think we're okay to keep going. So I think I'm just going to start your intro again because I don't want anyone to miss out on it. So she's a 15-year-old student from Sao Paulo, Brazil, studying at Colegio Magno, a leader in sustainable education. Her passion for the environment began early, but intensified after severe storms damaged her home and disrupted her studies, showing her firsthand the impacts of climate change. Motivated to make a difference, she joined her school's sustainability projects and became an advocate for children's rights to climate education. This year, she was selected to join her school's Cop30 delegation with her friend Melissa. So welcome.
Thank you. Hi, guys. Excited to be here.
Awesome. And finally, we have Libby. So Libby is a 17-year-old student at Lacombe Compton High School who's currently in 12th grade. She started to get involved in 10th grade with her beekeeping class, and she has joined the school's environmental club EcoVision early in the 11th grade. Since then, she has been running beekeeping workshops, giving environmental tours, and speaking at conferences to help running micro businesses within her community. She participated in CGE's Decarbonize program to help write this year's manifesto, and she's currently here in Belem, Brazil, advocating for climate action with 35 students from 12 countries. So welcome, Libby.
Hi, everybody. Hello.
Wonderful. So what we're going to do now is we are going to go ahead and start the panel discussion. So we can close the slides down for the time being. And I think the easiest thing to do for the panel is we will just go in the order that we introduced ourselves. So my first question, and we'll start with Mala, is what climate issues are you facing in your community? After Mala, we pass it along to Shatabi, and then Sophia, and then Libby.
Wonderful. Okay, I will get us started off with this one then. So I am in Toronto, Ontario, in Canada, and I was born and raised here. So I feel like the winters that we used to experience when I was a younger child look very different from what they look like now. In specific, I feel like Toronto has been experiencing extreme heat. In the summer, it's really, really, really hot to the point where some of our roads end up cracking and they end up bubbling, and even warmer winters as well. We haven't been getting as much snow, and even when snow does fall, it melts pretty quickly. So it's pretty obvious that it is getting a lot warmer here in Toronto. And even the warmer weather, it obviously impacts our weather, but another thing that I've noticed is that it's created really poor air quality as well. And it has really negative impacts on health. And there's also a lot of infrastructure damage, things like erosion and roads cracking, things like that. So those are some direct things that I've seen due to climate change.
Right. Thank you so much for sharing. And I will say too, seeing the diverse voices here at this conference, the intense temperature change that we're dealing with in Canada is something that's really new to a lot of people. And it's kind of hard to wrap your head around the amount of damage it can do and the cost to infrastructure. So that's such a great perspective. Thank you so much. Shatabdi, how about you?
For sure. I'm also similarly living in Toronto, Canada. And maybe what I'll share is the intersection between climate change, the loss of wetlands, and a lot more flooding that we've been seeing in our city. So one of the things that's happened for decades is that, with like the growth of agriculture and land development into making Toronto more of a modern city, we've actually lost a lot of our original wetlands. And these are spaces that are meant to protect us from things like flooding. And just as Mala mentioned, with a lot of climate change and rising temperatures, we've been seeing more intense rainfalls and storms, often in the summertime. And our aging drainage systems and infrastructure just can't keep up with this. And so it's led to a lot more flooded streets, a lot more flooded roads, and even flooded highways. There were like pictures and videos all across social media over the summer of just our major highway being completely flooded. And so all of this just kind of again highlights that this is a rising risk for so many people, especially people who live near things like the river valleys or places with older drainage systems. And ultimately, even though I love the city and have grown up here for so long, this really does act like a wake-up call to us to become climate ready and become climate ready really fast. Thank you, and I will pass it to the next person.
Thank you very much. Flooding was actually something that we just experienced here yesterday with such an intense rainfall. And I will say too, listening to some of the climate stories that some of the youth have shared, flooding is maybe one of the most widespread issues that we're seeing from people across the planet here. All right, Sophia, I will welcome you next to share what it's like in Sao Paulo.
So in São Paulo, in October 2024, strong winds and rains have affected my family and local community. The impacts were seen by the whole city. Some huge impacts were the power outage, fallen trees, flooding, and the loss of food and furniture. For me and my family, the effects were really big as well. We had all our balconies windows broken. I could not even use my computer to study or have access to the internet because of the power outage. And so couldn't my parents to work. This really affected my mental health and my studies.
That sounds very hard. And I have experienced a little bit of the power outage and the impact. I cannot imagine what that would be like on a school. So thank you very much for sharing. And Libby, I will pass it to you next to share a little bit about what climate change is like in Lacombe, Alberta.
Yeah, so it's kind of similar to the other Canadians, but instead of the heat causing flooding and issues with roads, we get a lot of wildfires in Alberta. So cities and towns near me have been evacuated about like for the past 4 years. But they've been rising gradually over time, and that goes hand in hand with the rising temperatures. Because of the fires, important land and biodiversity is slowly being lost, and air quality during the summer is horrible, and that's due to the smoke. Personally, this affected me because I was really isolated in my home. I couldn't leave, or else it was dangerous to breathe in. the smoke outside. So I couldn't go out and have fun during the summer and be with my friends. So yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing. And I don't think many people talk a lot about the impacts on your mental health that these extreme climate events can have. So thank you very much for sharing. So now that we have a bit of a diverse idea about how we're all being impacted by the changing climate, I would love to know, we're all here because we want to do something. So how do you each support climate action within your organization? Or if you're a child, how do you support climate action within your school? So Mala, we'll pass to you first.
So I work for a really cool organization called OceanWise, and we are an ocean conservation organization based out of Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. And we're on a mission to empower people to take care of and restore and protect our world's ocean. Now, one thing I love to say to everybody is that no matter where we all are, we're all connected to each other through our water, through our streams, through our rivers, through our lakes, our ocean. So protecting it is really, really important work. And at OceanWise, we're focused on targeting three main issues, including overfishing, ocean pollution, and climate change. And we do so by working with our various teams. So we have a bunch of different teams that work together to target those issues. So for example, we have a seaforestation team that has a bunch of scientists working to regrow kelp forests in our ocean. We have a plastics team that's working really, really hard to implement plastic reduction projects all across Canada and try to reduce the amount of plastics that are being used and studying the impacts of plastic on different animals and ecosystems. We have a whales team that studies and tracks whales so we can learn more about them and get more laws and policies to protect them. We have a sustainable seafood team that works incredibly hard to try and get people to make more conscious and ethical decisions about the types of food that they're eating. And all of these things are working towards trying to lower the impacts of climate change, trying to reduce the amount of plastic waste and production in the ocean as well. So that's kind of what my organization is doing to help with all of this.
Amazing. OceanWise does so many things. Every time we do this panel, I'm like, there's so many things. I will also say to all the youth that are watching right now, there was a really great connection with a similar panel to this that we did last year where a student in Latin America actually started a new beach cleanup program because of connecting with OceanWise. So if you are here and you love the ocean, Mala is the one you want to talk to and ask questions to. So keep those questions in mind because I'm sure she would love to get you all connected with some ocean actions. Thank you very much. All right, Shatabdi, I'll pass to you next.
Oh, that's amazing. And I do love the work that OceanWise does in terms of helping and supporting everyone. But at Taking It Global, what we're doing is we are supporting climate action by putting resources directly into the hands of young change makers, just like yourselves. So along with OceanWise, actually, we developed an app called Commit to Act. And this is an app and a website that helps you track your daily environmental actions. So think of things like when you wash in cold water, when you take public transport, when you eat a plant-based diet. You can see how all of these actions are making an impact through this app. And so I'm going to share the link with you in the chat just so you and your friends can join along and see how this is making an impact. And last year, through our Green My Classroom initiative using Commit to Act, we funded 55 projects across Canadian schools that helped save 1.3 million tons of carbon dioxide by tracking over 470 actions. And this year, we're keeping it going. We've sponsored 10 projects from our Sprout Ideas Fellowship alumni. And these guys brought in over 400 new users to the platform. And these users have saved an additional 37,000 kilograms of carbon dioxide through tracking 800 actions. And so we're continuing this momentum by continuing to sponsor even more projects with our current alumni. And so we're always excited to see how everyday actions can make a huge impact in the environment.
Amazing. The Commit to Act app is so fun. We've all been using it here on the ground actually while we're in Brazil. Have you used it?
Yeah, me and Elisa have used it a few times when you were walking. It's really fun.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, if you guys have not checked it out, it's great. It's like you can log your food and your transport and your water. It really makes like all of these actions that we're doing that feel almost too big to imagine what the impact is. It makes them feel very real. So our kids have been loving it on the ground. So thank you very much for such a fun app. It's going really well.
Love that.
Wonderful. And up next, I will call, oh, actually, up next, I'll call on you, Sophia. So why don't you share with me some actions you're taking in your school?
So in my school, Colégio Magno, we have a lot of projects, but in one of them, we use a technique called aquaponics. Aquaponics is a technique that uses fish and plants water in a mutual relationship. The fish provide fertilizer and the plants clean the water. Some of the benefits of aquaponics are fresh organic and healthy food, reduce water use, reduce food insecurities, and eliminate the use of chemical fertilizers.
Amazing. And what do you guys do with the food that you grow from the aquaponics?
So we use the food that we grow in the aquaponics in our restaurant.
A restaurant in your school?
Yes.
Oh my God, that's so awesome.
Nice.
It's like pays for itself. What a cool project. Do you like the food that you get from your aquaponics system? Awesome. All right, Libby, I will pass to you next to let us know about some actions that you're taking in your school.
Yeah, we have a few programs. But first I'll explain. I belong to an environmental club in my school called EcoVision. Their goal is to improve the environment, collaborate with the community, and educate our youth. Our major projects include our net zero geodesic 4 seasons greenhouse, where we can grow things like bananas and lemons and figs. And then we also have our organic edible food forest with 200 fruit trees and bushes, and then also 50 raised vegetable drip irrigation. They use drip irrigation. And then we have next to it is our bee apiary, which is just a fenced off area with some bees in it. And at a time, we can have 6 to 8 hives. And then we also have a solitary bee hotel for our native bees. On the other side of the greenhouse, on our 2 acres of land, we have a goat barn with 6 baby goats that we get every semester. And on top of it is a living roof. So it's just 2 inches, 2 inches of soil with some plants on it, just to show that anybody can grow plants anywhere. And then we have a partnership with the people.
I think we might have lost her. Is she gone for everyone or just me? I think she's
Everyone.
gone for everyone. Okay. All right. We'll wait for her to reconnect. But I will say, as she's logging back on, I do think that the students at Lacombe Composite could share about the project that they're doing for like an hour. We visited that school a couple of times. They've got baby goats. They've got a greenhouse. Like, it is an amazing space. So if you are thinking of starting any kind of like farming kind of projects in your school, save some questions for Libby when she returns, because yeah, like she's going to have pointers on tons and tons of different projects. Such an amazing school. I think while we wait for her to reconnect, we're going to, oh, is she here? Oh, yeah, she's here. Okay.
She is.
Let us know about your last couple projects, Libby.
Right. We have the goat barn with our rooftop garden, and then right next to it is our Little Mother Earth project, which is our indigenous garden with 26 native species that indigenous can come and select. And then all of these have been embedded into our curriculum so that students can access them through option classes.
Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank
That's so awesome. So
Yeah.
now that we know a little bit about some of the projects that you are all doing, I would love to hear what you guys think that the students who are joining could do. So not everybody gets to go to Lacombe Composite or Colegio Magno, but what are some actions that students can take at home in order to either help the climate or the ocean? So Malu, I'll pass to you first.
So for the ocean, I would say a lot like other environmental and climate action projects, a lot of things actually really start with changing things at home first. So you can change the way you wash your clothes, for example, washing with cold water on a gentle cycle, and then even opting out of using your dryer and air drying your clothes instead. It's not only really, really good for the environment, it also protects the quality of your clothes so that they last longer as well. And just changing your wash cycle like this can actually reduce your microfiber shedding by 70% per household. So that means a lot less plastics in the ocean that a lot of these animals like fish are going to end up eating. You can also consume something called sustainable seafood. So if any of you are in Canada, you can keep your eye out for the Ocean Wise logo on seafood across the country. It's essentially a sustainable seafood recommendation so that you can make a more conscious decision about the type of food that you're bringing home and to your table and consuming. And then the last thing that we can do is have alternatives to plastic and buy local and also share what we learn with our peers. So today we're in a space where we're going to be learning so many new things about ongoing projects, maybe feel inspired to start some of our own. Sharing that information with the people in our networks gets everybody excited and maybe creates a community of people working together trying to solve the same problem. So I would say share what you learned today. I feel like that's another really big thing that you can do in your personal life.
I have to say, every time that I hear about stats around microplastics in your laundry, it like blows my mind. It's like an invisible thing that we don't even think about. And it's like such an easy thing to take action on. It's such a great tip. And your point about coming together to have a common goal is actually kind of like the ongoing theme at COP here in Brazil. What is the word for it?
Mutirão.
Mutirão. So it's like coming together to share a common goal. So like Mutirão, we actually named our little COP mascot Muchi this year to stand for Mutirão. So it's like you're here with us in Brazil, sharing that same passion. Thank you very much, Mala. All right, we'll pass next to Shatabdi.
Thank you. I would say the most valuable thing you can do with your time is to enjoy it. So what I mean by that is that you take action. That you take action in a way that feels meaningful to you, because that's where that everyday sustainable action will come from. And so, for example, if you like research, you can learn about something new and share it with others. If you enjoy things like art, you can create an art project and share it with your friends in your community. If you're someone who even likes working with people, like organize a clothing swap or community cleanup, or start a farm like Libby did. And if you're unsure, that's totally okay, that's totally fine. We can always start small, like Mala mentioned, and just build from there. There's no right way to be a climate advocate as long as you're doing something that you're passionate about.
Awesome. Yeah, I think sometimes kids think that like if they don't have this giant idea, they can't do anything, but start small, 100%. Okay, Penta, I think you wanted to introduce a special guest quickly before we move on to our next panelist.
Yeah, everyone, this is Muchi. He's our official mascot for COP.
Hi, Muchi.
Hello.
Thank you. All right, let's go next to
environment. Another action is planting trees at home. Planting trees at home.
Sorry.
Your local community, in your local community or school. Every time you plant a tree, you remove up to 22 kilograms of carbon dioxide per year.
It seems like our connection got a little unstable during that one. Can somebody let me know in the chat if you can still hear us?
We can still hear you, but you're frozen.
Okay. All right. That's fine as long as we got the message across. Okay. Awesome. Thank you very much. And I'm going to call next on Libby to share something that students can do at home.
Yeah, I feel like the overall theme of what everybody's been saying kind of relates to mine. Mine is that small actions can create big change. I thought this was interesting, but did you know that a single bee can pollinate around 5,000 flowers a day? And that over a lifetime, a single bee might pollinate 150,000 flowers. So I think it's just, if a bee can do it, a bee starts small and goes to each flower. I feel like a student can too, and eventually it builds up into big change. Yeah, that's it.
I love the idea of everybody being adorable little bumblebees going out and taking action. That's so fun. Thank you so much. Okay, I have our final question for our main panel session, and that is, What is a project or a program within your organization that other students here on the call today could get involved in? So Mala, to you first.
So I would say just lead climate action projects. There are so many amazing opportunities to get involved and deal with the climate crisis in your own communities. And organizations like CGE and Taking It Global and Oceanwise are all here to support you and your initiatives. So at Oceanwise, you can actually check out our different youth programs to get funding. You can get mentorship and meet with a lot of other youth across Canada that are equally as passionate as you are to protect our world's ocean. And I'll drop the link in the chat in just a little bit where you can check it out. But another thing that you can do is something that Rebecca had touched on a little bit earlier. You can actually lead your own shoreline cleanups, and you can clean up your own local communities with your friends and family. You can go onto our Oceanwise website and you can sign up to lead one if you're located in Canada. But even if you're not, it's super easy. You just grab some gloves, you just grab some garbage bags, and you get together with your friends and families, go to a local park or a local watershed and clean up the environment there. And you can report that data back to your government and hopefully influence policy changes that try to ban certain types of plastics from being used. So these are two things that I recommend you can do on behalf of Oceanwise to take care of your environment around you.
Amazing. And yeah, like in Canada, that's what they did. They did ocean clean or beach cleanups, and they counted the plastic, brought that to our government, and our government banned.
Hey, Rebecca, you're just breaking up a little bit on audio.
How are we doing now?
Better now, yeah.
If you wouldn't mind, I can also pop it in the chat just so we can make sure everybody gets it. Can you hear me? I don't know. Our next one is what project are... Oh.
So our next question is what project or program that students can become involved in within your organization?
Thank you. Sorry, got a bit confused there, but
You're all
I was
good.
just going to highlight that you can get involved in a way that speaks to you, whether it is a community project or an everyday activity. You can also download and sign up to Commit to Act, which is the app and website, and track your environmental actions today. Whether you're doing an action on your own, like enjoying maybe a plant-based meal or washing your laundry in cold water, like Mala mentioned, or doing a group activity like a cleanup or tree plantings, you can use something like Commit to Act to see how much carbon dioxide you're saving in taking these actions every day. So it's always a fun way to visualize your impact.
Amazing. That sounds great. Let's take it over to Oceanwise.
I think, can you guys hear us now?
Yes.
All right, let's see if Sophia can share her idea.
So get involved with volunteer and local communities actions such as climate marches are really helpful to show the power of young voices. To show young voices power, projects such as Decarbonize that is free and have actions that includes art, writing, presenting, travel, and virtual meetings as this are fundamental. So everyone can get to know the actions young have and why they are so important to the climate topic. In this way, politicians can realize the true importance of including children in environmental discussion as well.
Amazing. Like climate marches are super powerful. I would love to hear in the chat if anyone here has been to a climate march before. And as well, yeah, if you guys are interested in doing something like this, join Decarbonize. It is free. We can pop the Decarbonize link into the chat for you guys as well in case you're not already involved, but I have a feeling a lot of you are. But that's the website. It's just decarbonize.me. We would love to have more of you join us at our next COP. And finally, I mean, Sophia shared a bit about Decarbonize. So Libby, can you let us know about maybe some other projects that students could do maybe within their own schools?
Well, events like Decarbonize are just so important. Collaboration is one of the most helpful things within environmental advocacy. At my school, we collaborate with local beekeepers and farms and greenhouse keepers to keep our environmental projects strong and sustainable. What's important is, again, to start small and pick things that you're passionate about and then find a teacher or community member that can help you. And I think that's one of the most important parts.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Finding a teacher that can champion the things that you guys want to be doing in your classroom. Libby's teacher, Mr. Schultz, has all child imagined and child run projects, but he just makes them happen. So I think most of the students here probably have a teacher that's been a champion for them. So that's great advice. Okay, so that ends kind of the main section of our panel. So what I would like to do now is just remind you all, if you have a question for any of our panelists, now is your chance to type that in the chat. And while we're thinking about some of those panel questions and popping them in the chat, I would like to call on our friend Katie from Green Learning, who's going to talk a little bit about what you guys can do to take action after this event. So Katie is an environmental education engagement manager for Green Learning. Katie has a background in conservation and biodiversity with experience in the environmental sector, including event coordination, conservation planning, and work with both Canadian and global species. Her passion for the environment, safeguarding species at risk, and promoting a sustainable future motivates her to share her knowledge with others. So Katie, thank you so much for joining us. We're very excited to learn more about e-cards. I'm going to pass the microphone on to you to share and let kids know how they can get involved.
Perfect. Thank you. Can I share my screen? It says send
You sure
request.
can. Let me give
Thank
you
you.
access to that.
Perfect.
Oh, my host settings probably reset when we had to change host. So you may
All
have
good.
to actually,
Katie,
yes,
you should
okay,
be
we're
able
good.
to right now.
There we go. Wonderful. Okay. Share. Okay. Can everybody see that?
We sure can.
Wonderful. Okay. Well, thank you for having me today, you guys, to talk to you guys about how to create, to make a change, and how you can use our eCards tool to really express your thoughts and opinions. And so, as mentioned, my name is Katie, and I'm the Environmental and Education Engagement Manager here at Green Learning. And Green Learning as a whole really provides free online resources, activities, and challenges for your teachers and for you guys to really focus on climate change, green economy, and energy. So getting into our eCards tool, our goal here is to empower you guys to use your voice to make some sort of positive change for your surrounding environment and for the world in general. So we want you guys to take these steps by using our eCards tool. And this is a really great way to take action in advocating what matters to you. So we want you to create these eCards where you can help raise awareness for our environment, where you can use these to help educate others, and using your voice for what you believe in, and to help to reach decision makers to help move our world forward in some sort of positive way. So I want you guys to know that your voice is super powerful, and you can see one of the messages. This is from Isaac, and he's put together this message that we've turned into an e-card. He lives in Trinidad and Tobago, and he says that climate change is a problem of the past and present, but together we can ensure it's not a problem of the future. Strength in numbers. So that's his message out to the world. So using that Google Doc that Rebecca shared with you guys at the beginning, you have this opportunity to turn your ideas and your voice into an e-card. And you can see here on the screen, there's a few examples of different messages that were turned into e-cards. And these are currently posted on our website so that your messages are shared with our environmental education community. So one e-card that was actually created from a previous COP event was this message on the left here from a student named BM. And it says, "We only have one planet and it's up to us to take care of it. All of the children this generation and those of future generations deserve to live in the same conditions as our parents once did, without fear of what will happen in the future if we don't take care of our planet Earth. We deserve to wake up and not fear tomorrow." So we want you guys to use your voice, whether it's through messaging, through art and creativity, and come up with your different messages to express your passion and concerns regarding the environment. You can see the middle photo there. They have hashtag decarbonize, and it has to do with all about protecting endangered animals. And also, a really neat part of this activity is your messages. They have not just the opportunity to make it onto our website to be shared with our community and our network, but you have this chance to reach decision makers. So in creating your message in that Google Doc, if you want to also include someone that you would like us to share it with, we will do our best in reaching out to them with your message. So it could either be a political figure, it could be a celebrity, it could be family, friends, teachers, somebody that you met at COP. You can see the messages shared by a student here. It could be on government policy. This one that's shared here on we urge governments to establish structured platforms that facilitate the meaningful involvement of children in climate policy discussions. So your message can be anything that you believe in. So please add your message to that Google Doc so that we can go out there and share your message globally and reach more networks and people.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm very interested to see what these demands are going to be. I will say too, hearing from decision makers, they are very impacted by child voices. You can have an adult talk to an adult and say you should do something and nothing happens, but you have a child talk to them and your voices have so much power. So this is just such a great way to take that power and use it and help Green Learning help you use it for good. So what we're going to do now, we have a few questions popping in the chat. If you have more, feel free to add them in. It looks like they're mostly for our students, but you are welcome to ask our experts some questions as well. And I think Lana had a question for Mala. Lana, would you like to unmute and ask Mala your question first to get us started?
Hi, of course, I would like to. So what I was wondering is, as I didn't get to join like the COP in last year, I was wondering how there was an efficient way to help with protecting our oceans, as I noticed she is a part of, I forgot the name, but like a constitution that helps.
Yes, that's awesome. Mala, did you get the question? So she's wondering, she wasn't able to come to COP, but she still wants to take action for the ocean. So what do you suggest? I don't hear anything coming from Mala. Is that just me?
That's me as well.
Me either.
You're unmuted, but there is no sound coming out of your mouth. Maybe you might have to hop off the meeting and hop back on. And maybe while she's getting hers sorted, we'll move on to the next question. So this question comes from Austin O'Brien High School. And I can see you guys, if you want to give a wave, we can see Austin O'Brien. Hello, friends from Edmonton. They're wondering, what climate change solutions are you hearing being discussed at COP? So Libby and Sophia, you guys can both answer if you're interested. So Sophia, have you heard any discussions about different solutions on the ground here?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we heard a lot of solutions, but I think one that impacted me was moving to renewable energies, such as wind turbines, hydroelectric dams, nuclear energy, and also solar panels. So it was a thing that we really listened. Also, another thing that I listened to was like, why we don't use the money that we're spending on climate changes to invest in renewable energies. That is a
of us don't realize how expensive.
Rebecca, you're breaking up a bit.
Okay, Libby, I'll pass to you next.
Okay. Yeah, so I think sustainability is such a big thing that's being talked about more often. And sustainability, it's the relationship between the environment, humanity, and economics. And I think right now what we're trying to do is find a way to balance it all. And a big part of COP is networking, so people can share sustainable practices, because it can't just be black or white, yes or no. We're all trying to do our best, right? So I think, yeah, sustainability is probably a big thing that's being talked about within agriculture, within even investing, like how much money is going into things. It's really interesting. But yeah, thank you.
All right, I think I'll jump back in to answer the question that was asked to me a little bit earlier. Just around what we can kind of do for the ocean. So, yeah, there's a lot of different things that we can do. And as I mentioned, a lot of it starts from home. But something that I've been talking about a lot more, especially with youth, was actually pursuing careers in conservation. So, there are so many ways, there are so many conservation careers in general, but also I urge you all to find your regular hobbies and your passions and wherever you want to pursue your job, get creative and find a way to make that job sustainable. For example, I know a lot of people love doing art, right? If you love doing art, maybe on the side you can do some sort of environmental project or some sort of environmental art piece that has some sort of messaging that advocates for the ocean, right? If you love to swim, if you love to go diving, if you love to go fishing, you can turn these hobbies and these passions into conservation careers. If you're a diver, you can work with researchers and scientists and dive into the ocean and collect samples for these people. You can take pictures and take videos of things that are going on underwater and share it with the public. If you're a doctor, if you want to go into medicine, you can find more creative ways to be sustainable with your practices and also maybe become an ethnobotanist and learn about the different ways we can use plants and organisms sustainably to help with different illnesses as well. So get creative and turn your everyday jobs and hobbies and careers into something sustainable. I guarantee there's a way to do it. We just got to get creative and next thing you know, you might be working if in ocean conservation as well. That's how I found myself here. So you can turn anything into a conservation career.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Such a great answer. We're almost out of time, but there's a great question that got sent to us directly in the chat. I'm just going to reshare it for everyone. How do you think you've changed since coming on your COP30 trip? So again, I'll call on Sophia first, and then Libby, if you'd like to let us know how you've changed as well, you're welcome to.
So meeting so many people with the same thought as me in COP made me think that young voices really matter. Of the word, but I mean, privileged person I am. Honestly, to live in a place that doesn't suffer so much with climate changes make me really think of this, me really reflect. So I think, yeah.
So, and Libby, what about yourself? Would you like to share?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've learned a lot while I've been here. And it's really opened, like similarly, it's really opened my perspective, and really showed me how to be more open and yeah, I mean, I've learned a lot, right? And I think I've just become more open. That's how I've changed.
Wonderful. Such a great answer too. Okay, we are coming to the end of our time together. I would like to do one last question, and actually maybe just in the essence of time, would our panelists be okay if we had just the children answer our last question? All right, so I would love to know, as kind of our final wrap up, what would be a piece of advice that you have for other children that want to take action for climate? So, you know, the kids that are watching here today, what's something that you would like to tell them? And I'm going to call on Sophia first, and then Libby. And then actually our friend Penta, who's joining us as well, I would love to hear your piece of advice third. So Sophia, we'll start with you.
Okay. So don't be scared to experience COP and meeting so many people who share the same thought as me about climate changes made me sure that young voices matters. You have the power to change things. Get your friends, family, and local communities involved to know their impact and fight for the environment too.
Amazing. Get your friends and family involved. That's so awesome. Libby, how about you?
think sometimes youth get really overwhelmed um, with balancing their passions and school or work. So uh, mine would just be go for it. Don't be scared to spend your time and effort on something you really care about. Um, you can discover ways to act on these climate actions or on your passions. And again, like find community members or leaders who will support you and really like just be willing to put in the work because it's always worth it. Yeah.
Awesome. And Kenta, how about you?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, if you want to start doing to climate, if you want to start contributing to climate change, then you could start as small as conserving your energy or electricity in your home. It doesn't matter if your actions are small, because in some it's gonna become more. And then you could go off, like it could be your foundation, and then you could go for advocating for change, and then and engaging with local and national leaders, etc. But you have to stay informed, and then you have to make everyone feel welcome in, so that more knowledge could be shared with everyone.
Wonderful. Staying informed is a great piece of advice. Now, before we say goodbye, I know we're maybe like a couple minutes over. I do want to give you a couple reminders. Number one, I just popped a link in the chat for a fun quiz. If you do the quiz, it will tell you which national park around the world you are. So it would be great. You can do it as a class or you can do it individually. We want everyone watching this to do that quiz. Okay. And the other one that I would like to share with you all is actually, Penta, you could share the link in one more time. Get your thoughts into that shared document. That's how we're going to share those ideas with our decision maker. And finally, we always like to end our sessions with our decarbonized cheer. So if I could get as many of you as we can to turn your cameras on, you can turn your cameras on, clean your hair up a little bit. We're going to all crowd into our screens and we go 3, 2, 1, and we put our hands up and we say decarbonize. So I'll give you guys a moment. I know our friends from Trinidad are here. If you have a camera, I'd love to see it. Okay, it looks like we're mostly ready. I'll turn my video on. Hopefully we don't freeze. Is everybody ready? 3, 2, 1. Decarbonize!
Decarbonize!
So good. Okay, thank you so much. We couldn't get to all of your questions, but if you follow us on Instagram, we will be doing a Q&A for the next 24 hours. So follow us on Instagram. You can ask any questions that we missed out on. And thank you so much to our amazing panelists for joining us and sticking it out with all of our tech issues. You guys are all amazing and wonderful. And
thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your days. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.